Welcome to Next in AI, your weekly strategic briefing. Look, there's a ton of noise out there. Our job is to help you find the signal, to zero in on what really matters this week in AI.
So let's kick things off with something pretty wild. It's a quote from Microsoft's own terms of use for Copilot. Get this. They say it's for entertainment purposes only, and that you shouldn't rely on it for important advice. I mean, wow. That really sets the stage perfectly, right? It's this incredible paradox of immense power and, well, acknowledged unreliability.
So here's how we're going to break it all down today. We'll start with AI in the wild, what's happening right now. Then we'll peek into the future with the research frontier. After that, we'll get into the big governance question. And finally, we'll wrap it up with your key takeaway.
Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, AI in the wild. We're talking about the real, tangible products hitting the market as we speak.
All right, so fresh on Product Hunt this week, we've got a few cool new tools popping up. Influencio, Glassbrain, and Mailero. What's interesting is that each one is using AI to tackle a really specific business need. It just goes to show how broad the practical uses are becoming.
And if you look closer, you can see a really important trend here. We're moving way beyond just general-purpose chatbots. Think about it. Influencio is an AI agent just for influencer marketing. Glassbrain gives developers a visual way to debug their AI apps. Super niche, super useful. And Mailer, it takes that messy flood of support emails and turns them into clean, actionable tickets. See what's happening? AI is becoming this specialized, almost surgical tool for business.
Okay, so that's what's happening today. Now, let's switch gears and look at what's on the horizon. Let's head to the research frontier to get a glimpse of tomorrow.
One of the biggest trends right now in the research world is teaching AI to get out of single-player mode. For a long time, it's been about one AI, one task. Now the real push is to get models to understand a world with multiple things happening at once, multiple agents, multiple objects, all interacting in complex ways.
And here are two great examples of that. First, there's a paper called Action Party. It's all about controlling multiple characters in, say, a generated video game and making sure the right character does the right thing. Then you've got Void, which is amazing. It can take an object out of a video and then realistically figure out the physics of what should happen next, how other things would move or fall. We're literally going from just making pretty pictures to simulating reality.
So that's one side of the coin, making AI more capable. The other side is making it more efficient. The next big wave isn't just about more power, it's about being smarter, faster, and cheaper to run, especially when you need it to do a very specific job.
So think about this. How do you teach an AI a whole new vocabulary for a specialized field like medicine or finance? Well, the old way was kind of like starting from zero every time. But this new technique, grounded token initialization, is way smarter. It's like giving the AI a hint. It connects the new word to words it already knows. This gives it a massive head start and makes it so much better for things like building custom recommendation engines.
And all of this is leading us towards what might be the holy grail of current research, AgenticAI. So what is that? It's about building an AI that doesn't just wait for your prompt. It's an AI that can act on its own, remember what it did, check its work, and push towards a goal, even if it doesn't have all the pieces of the puzzle. It's about giving AI agency.
And you'll never guess where some of the inspiration is coming from. Seriously. There's a new paper on building these agents, and it literally cites squirrels. It's taking a comparative perspective from squirrel locomotion and scatter hoarding. That's right, researchers are studying how squirrels hide and find their nuts to build smarter AI that can plan and remember. You can't make this stuff up.
Okay, so when you go from specialized business tools to AI inspired by squirrels in such a short time, you have to ask the big question. With all this power, and with it getting smarter by the day, who writes the rules?
And that question brings us to our next chapter, governance. This is where the conversation gets a lot bigger than just the tech. It's about how we, as a society, are going to handle this. How do we weave it into our economy, into our daily lives safely?
And the big players are already starting to weigh in. OpenAI, for example, is talking about a people-first industrial policy. And what does that mean? Well, it's all about focusing on people, creating more opportunities for workers, making sure the prosperity that AI generates gets shared, and building strong institutions that can actually manage this thing.
All of this really comes down to one core tension, doesn't it? It's the central challenge for everyone right now, policymakers, investors, you name it. How do you balance the wild, move fast, and break things innovation that got us here, with the very real need for guardrails, for responsible development, to make sure this is safe and beneficial for everyone?
Okay, so we've seen the new tools, we've looked at the wild research, we've touched on the huge policy debates. What's the one thing you need to take away from all this?
I think the key takeaway is that we're living in a dual reality. We have to wear two hats at the same time. On one hand, AI is a practical, here-and-now tool that can solve today's problems. Think MailJur turning emails into tickets. But on the other hand, it's this massive, civilization-level technology that forces us to think about tomorrow's rules. We have to manage both of those things, today's tools and tomorrow's consequences, all at once.
And that brings us right back to where we started, with that Microsoft disclaimer. As AI becomes a basic utility, like the internet, is that entertainment-only label just a temporary legal thing they have to do right now? Or is it a deeper, more permanent warning about what this technology really is? That's the question I want to leave you with.